Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, everybody. I hope you can all hear me and see me. If you can, just give a heads up in the chat. Excellent. I think everybody there joined us as well. Jazakallah khair. And Danish. You can all see everybody clearly? Right. Okay, let's start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the check-in webinar with the team this week, inshallah. What we like to call Hajj without AE. So Hajj without AE, it's just the team today. Inshallah, we'll be giving you a team perspective of a few issues, going through some logistics, Q&A, a bit of rooming, arriving at the airport, flights, remaining medical issues as well. I can hear but can't see. Okay, anybody else can't see? Yeah, I think most people can see. Okay, so just a quick recap of what should be going on and what should be happening at the moment. Masterclass videos, then as you all know, they're on the portal and there for you to view. I thought what I'd do is I'd just share with you the portal at the moment and give you a little look at the portal just to remind everybody who hasn't, or hope everybody has accessed it, but anybody who hasn't, then they can have a look at it. Let's just have a look at that. I hope you can see that screen. Okay, so this is the portal where you'll find all of our information as well as a Telegram group. Yes, so you'll find all the posts here, all of the releases in email and Telegram. You'll find all the links here. Just you can click on them and they'll open up and you can then go through all of the previous posts that we've sent out so far, all the communication. You have the past webinars that we've had on Telegram. All of them are here recorded. You can watch those. And this is the important one, the masterclass videos. Please make sure you are, watching these and getting up to date. The next two have been released. So number 12 and number 13, the different types of Hajj and mistakes in Ihram. And the next three will be out soon. I think next few days, Danish?
Probably tomorrow or the day after, inshallah.
Yeah, so they'll be out in the next few days. And then here you have your documents, all the important documents that you need, your packing list, the summary of the menses guidance, items provided by Al-Bayt, and then you've got the two releases that we've had this week, The Art of Reaching Out and the Dua books. That's also there on the Telegram page as well. So please make sure that you're catching up on the videos, spending some time with the Dua books and the resources that are put together. Jazakallah khair to the team, done a great job with that. Very nice documents. And some more documents to follow. So please keep an eye out on the Telegram groups for the coming documents. If you have not done your introductions, please can you do them? We have 430 introductions done so far, still another 100 left to do. So please, if you have not done it, please do your introductions. AE takes this very seriously. He spends a lot of time reading every single introduction. Not only reading them, he memorizes them as well. You'll be shocked. Okay, so this is part of his process. Respect the process and please complete your introduction if you haven't done so. Also, the bot is sending out communications. As you know, we've got a little tick box there to make sure that you've read it. Please communicate with the bot, tick it to say that you've received the post, you've read it, so we know that our communications are reaching you. Telegram-wise, then please, now your family members might be on the Telegram group but not very active. There's no good in arriving in Mecca and then trying to teach them how to use Telegram and all the topics and where all the resources are. Our main communication on the ground will be via Telegram. So those family members who are not very familiar with Telegram, you need to start getting them to practice using Telegram, looking at the topics, looking at the resources, looking at the announcements, and seeing how the communication is going to go. Because once we hit the ground in Saudi, that's going to be our main form of communication. Other things to be preparing, unlocked phones, very important. If you don't have an unlocked phone or your phone is locked, you need to be starting that process now. Only 4 weeks left to go, and these 4 weeks are going to fly by. Before you know it, this time, inshallah, next month, we'll be in Medina, inshallah. So unlocked phones, it can take a week or two. So please make sure you have your unlocked phones. That is crucial to have the, to be able to use the internet there and get the local SIM. I hope your physical preparation and your walking and your heat tolerance is going well. Obviously, the weather, I think, is going to be brightening up in the UK over the next week or so. So please, put on your layers, start walking and get accustomed to that heat tolerance because it's going to be hot out there. Rooming requests then. Those people, I know we put out a rooming upgrade request form, but unfortunately, there will be no upgrades available. So we've not been able to get through any of our upgrades. So there's going to be no upgrades for our group, but rest assured that whatever you have booked in your Nusuk package, that's the room that you'll get. So you're going to get what you've booked, but there's no upgrades available. So please don't ask us now, and we can't, facilitate that process. We tried, but unfortunately we couldn't get that through, and we weren't given an allocation. Okay. Also very important, a number of the team have received messages from people who have package flights, who have bought the package and have the flight with their package, but they're not using that package flight. They're actually either using half of it, only one leg of the journey, either in or out of Saudi, and they're going to buy their own ticket or use a different flight on the way in or out, or even both. If that's the case and you haven't let any of the team know, please DM me directly on Telegram. @Shazad Salim is my Telegram handle. You need to let us know so we can work with the logistics and we can make sure that we know the numbers that are coming in, and also any transport requirements that you require with Al Bayt. Also, the biometrics should have all been done by now. UK people, you're not going to get a visa unless you've done the biometric form. Any people who have had issues with the biometric form, then you should have now filled in the form that Abid had for that exemption certificate. If you haven't done it, then you got to get on top of that ASAP. It should have been done by now, really. I think everybody should have done it. Okay. Next week on Sunday, we have our live event, our live Hajj webinar or Hajj meeting. Okay, 4th of May, and starting at 1 p.m. at Cheadle Masjid. The details are in the topic in the Telegram group. Please have a look at that. Meeting for 1 o'clock. Dhuhr will be at 1:35, and we'll be aiming to start at 2 p.m. Please bring your water bottles to be able to use. They're quite strict in the masjid with regards to food and drink, but if you've got your closed water bottles, that should be fine. And then hygienic snacks, yes, things that don't make a mess. Make sure the carpooling topic is open in the Telegram group. Have a look at that. Please try and carpool and share as much as you can to minimize the number of cars coming. Obviously, we've got a lot of people coming, 400 people. If you're in the UK, you should be coming to the Hajj webinar, Hajj seminar next week. Very important. We've arranged it on a bank holiday weekend with the timing as such, so you've got plenty of time to come and then drive back if you want to, or stay on for the bank holiday weekend. Any locals in Cheadle, please try and walk if you can. Good walking practice, get your steps in. That way we minimize the parking. We will be putting more parking details in the group, but there is a car park next to the pub opposite the masjid, which we'll drop a link to, but it is a paid parking. So if you're planning to park there, you need to download the Ring Go app. Yeah, it's the Ring Go app, and it's about £7.90 for 24 hours. It goes from 6 hours to 24 hours. You're going to have to pay for the 24 hours because 6 hours is not going to cover it. So £7.90 for the 24 hours. That will help to reduce the parking load on the masjid. Please make sure you park appropriately, follow the instructions, don't block any drives, otherwise Cheadle Masjid will be after us. They want any excuse to be, shouting at me or AE. So please make sure you park appropriately. Again, watch out in the Telegram group for the topics on the seminar for next week for any further updates. It is a must-watch live. There will be no recording. We'll be sending out a link for the US and Canada people on the day. There's no childcare at the masjid, so please try and get some childcare for your family members. And if you can't, then, bring them, but they'll be with you. And, just try and be mindful of the noise, within the masjid. Okay. Any other bits then? FAQs. If you have any questions and there's a form to fill in the FAQs, please submit them via the form. We will go through the form and answer them and submit any common questions there. And please don't DM the team. It's not the most efficient way of doing it. Why? Because many other people might have the same question, and once we cover it in the FAQs or within the answer it to the group, then it's covered then. I think that's all from my side. I'm going to hand it over to our Amir and Chief, Uthman Ashraf. He can now, go through a bit about some of the team. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair. Can you hear me? Yep.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair. So today's session, it was for a few reasons, but mainly to introduce you guys to the team. You'll have seen us in previous webinars, some of us. And what we want to do is get across how we work. Yeah, that we're not the same as other teams or groups that that take Hajj or Umrah groups, if you like. We work slightly differently. Firstly, we're not a business, as it were. Yeah, we are all here for ourselves, for the sake of Allah, but also to serve you guys. Yeah, and that will be our kind of motto, our standard throughout. Yeah, and we want to be held to that standard. What we ask of yourselves is to work with us on this. Yeah, we are 537 people, inshallah. 537 people, 537 sets of, I'm not going to say problems, but challenges, even issues, which we will work through, work towards. We will all put our best in to make sure you have the best experience, but that's going to work the best and work well if we understand each other. Yeah. We'll come back to that some more later, but let me just introduce everybody that's going to be on the team. There are some changes and some additions, some people that you won't have been introduced to yet. So let's talk about that. We'll start with the important people. So we'll start with the sisters on the team. Mashallah, we're a big sisters-led team this year. Yeah, that we have, mashallah, 4 sisters that are going to be on the ground with us in Medina and Mecca, inshallah. The first is Sister Widad, that you'll all know quite well. She has been the face of the team for the last few years, and certainly from the feedback that we have, she's been one of the reasons that many people have been attracted to the group. So Jazakallah khair to her. What I won't do is we do have specific roles that we'll each play through the that we've played so far, and we will play throughout the journey. I won't go into those in detail, but there will be times along the way that we will signpost certain people that will deal with certain issues, at which stage you can and you will approach those people. But for now, let's just get an overview of who's in the team. So Sister Widad is based out of Canada. We're not quite sure where she's going to be flying from yet, but she will be at one of the airports to accompany some of you guys. So Jazakallah khair to Sister Widad. Then we have Sister Abida. Sister Abida is from Glasgow. She's been, mashallah, excellent in the build-up in terms of the Telegram, and a lot of the work behind the scenes in terms of dua books and the webinars, and a lot of the literature that's coming forward and that's already come forward that will come to you in the future has been worked on closely by herself. I'm not sure if she's with us today, but she's been okay. She's been she's travelled with us several times in terms of the Hajj with the group trips, but she's also been a kind of fixture in Scottish Dawah for the last many years. So Jazakallah khair, she'll be joining us there. We have Sister Nazia. Sister Nazia, again, has been around in the Dawah, certainly in the north, in Manchester, for as long as I can remember, longer than I have been. So she'll be on the ground with you guys. Most likely she'll be travelling out of Manchester. So Sister Nazia, certainly you'll see at the seminar next week. So she'll be out of Manchester again. She's an excellent addition to the group. She brings the Bangla on the ladies' side. Jazakallah khair to her, which we've always lacked. Alhamdulillah, this year we've got some big representation from several different kind of language groups. I won't bring Tanveer in yet, but he'll show himself soon. So Jazakallah khair to her. So we will have, and we always do have, a big Bengali contingent. And often elders and those that don't have the best grasp of English. So she's going to be an excellent addition there. We've got some feedback somewhere.
If I can just ask everybody to mute themselves, please.
And then we have Sister Jiba. Sister Jiba, most of you will know, certainly if you're involved in the Dawah scene in the UK and even internationally. She's been, again, a mainstay and a rock amongst certainly the Sisters Dawah and even in the wider Dawah for again, the north of England, but again, the whole UK and the world, mashallah. She won't be on the ground with us, unfortunately. We did try, but mashallah, baby won. So she'll be staying behind this year, but in the future, again, inshallah, she'll be joining us. But she's been a massive help for the last few years, but certainly directly this year. Her input has been fantastic. She is in the Telegram. Again, big input in terms of the literature and the videos and the like that's coming out to you guys. Has come out and will come out, inshallah. I'm sure she'll be there at the seminar next week. It'll be nice for you guys too to meet her, and those that you know of, those of you that know her already, to say your salams and take her advice and guidance. That she has led Hajj groups before, multiple times. She's done Hajj herself multiple times. Herself and her family have played big parts in the Hajj with the groups. So certainly take some time and get to meet her, inshallah. Lastly, we have a new addition to the team, Sister Ruhi. Sister Ruhi is from the US. She has been a member of the ground team, so she's done Hajj with us as a group leader in the past, and alhamdulillah, she's been convinced to join us again this year, which is really a fantastic addition. She brings a lot of experience in terms of the dawah in general. Actually, right now she is, I believe, on her way back from Umrah with a group that specializes in taking those with special needs in terms of health and maybe learning difficulties and the like. So she brings a lot of experience, and we're really happy to have her on board. Likelihood is that she will be joining from JFK, so you guys will get to meet her there. Shaz, I don't know if you've got that picture to share.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, Sister Ruhi. Yeah. Just to, this will be shared again closer to the time, but just so you can kind of put a face to the name. So this is Sister Ruhi Tahir. She will be joining us from the US. Again, she will be part of the sisters team on the ground, so she'll be with us in throughout the Hajj, and that's going to be a fantastic upgrade to our experience. You should be able to see. I can see it. Yeah. Hopefully, everybody else can as well. So this is Sister Ruhi. Hopefully, maybe next week we can get her on the screen to share some words about herself. But certainly, you guys will get to meet her very soon. So that's the sisters. Like I said, alhamdulillah, we've got a big sisters team. So no complaints from the sisters that you're not being represented, and you'll be very well taken care of. On kind of that side of things, when we get to Medina, and certainly to Mecca and Mina and Arafah and Muzdalifah and around the whole of Mecca again on our Hajj, we things that are different than they might be in the wider world. Yeah, that we have this concept of segregation in Islam, and certainly in the way that we work as well. But we also understand that we live, and maybe the real world is a wrong approach, but we live in a world where we will be interacting with members of the opposite gender. Yeah, and this is not something that we are against, nor is it something that we kind of prohibit or try to downplay or restrict. But there's got to be etiquettes. There's got to be etiquettes, there are etiquettes and rules that we have to follow. Yeah, and those will apply to anybody that you deal with, whether it's your fellow Hajis or whether it's ourselves in terms of your helpers and your guides, or whether it's Sheikh Abu Isa. But it's about following what we all know of these etiquettes, and they'll be shared again. But being respectful of boundaries, being respectful of people's kind of personal time. Again, we'll all be accessible all the time. Yeah, that we will demand of our team that whatever is needed, they will do their best to help you in those situations. And if they can't do, then they will send you in the right direction for the person and the people that can help you. But we ask your patience. Yeah, and Sheikh has said this before, and I will say happily and proudly that we have the best Hajj group in the world. For me, there's no doubt. Alhamdulillah, I've been doing this with Sheikh for about 9 or 10 years. Yeah, so you get to see, we've seen in our own group, we've seen thousands of people come through. In the wider Hajj, we've met, tens of thousands of people, and happily and even proudly and confidently, we can say that we've got the best group. But that's because, alhamdulillah, things work out very well for us, that we tend to attract a similar mindset of people. Yeah, the people that are going for Hajj for the right reasons. Yeah, to have the best experience, to bring back the best outcomes. Yeah, as you've seen and you've heard, that it's not just about getting there and doing Hajj. Yeah, it's not just about getting there and doing Hajj. And again, Sheikh will say this, that it's hard to do Hajj wrong. Yeah, but it's for us, it's about firstly being prepared, which is what Shaz mentioned now, that we've got to get through all the material that's been shared, and then getting there and whilst on the ground having a good experience, so having a good time. You know, in terms of the team, you know, I often ask this, I'm often asked this, and I often think about this myself, that why do we keep doing this? Yeah, that when you get there, you'll see us, and you might look at us and think, these guys have, you know, kind of run ragged, or they're always on the go, which we will be. But then within a few, you know, and we'll be shattered on the return, and this will be touched on again, I'm sure. But when you get back from Hajj, most likely everybody's going to be unwell. Everybody's going to have some form of sickness, illness, but everybody is going to be fatigued. If you're not shattered when you get back from Hajj, you've done something. Well, maybe you're super fit and you've done 70,000 steps beforehand, but you've done something, you know, maybe you've missed something, but we will be, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt that we'll come back, and, you know, all sorts of crazy and weird things will happen when we get back. Sheikh is normally in a kind of conscious coma, yeah, that, you know, he'll report sleepless nights and all sorts of stuff. It's just because of the nature of those, you know, the 16, 17, 18 days, they're just, you know, they're constant. For us, alhamdulillah, now they're constant already. For some of the team now, they will get even more hectic over the next few weeks. You know, for the rooming guys, literally will spend their days and their nights working on our rooming and our logistics for the next few weeks. Yeah, alhamdulillah, and we're happy to do it. We're happy to do it. But like I said, we've got to kind of respect the process. But as I was saying, when we get back, we'll be shattered, we'll be tired. So we've got to, what I was kind of alluding to is that why do we keep doing it? Why do we keep coming back? That literally within a few days of coming back, a few weeks certainly of coming back, we'll be looking at kind of working on what we can improve from the year just gone, and what we you know, what we're going to be doing and planning for 2026, and that's how quickly it comes around. But then, as I was saying, that I often think about why do we keep doing it? Yeah, why do we keep coming back? It's because we enjoy it. It's because we enjoy it. We enjoy working together as a team, but also because we see the outcomes for the people and the pilgrims on the other side. Yeah, and it's because, alhamdulillah, Sheikh has worked, and the team has worked out a formula that really works. Yeah, so we want to work with you guys and for you guys to make sure it's the best experience. I'll quickly move on to the brothers. So you've got myself. My name's Osman. Somehow I've been labeled as a chief. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I've been given the role of Amir of this group. Really, it's an empty title. Yeah. We're all here together. Everyone on this team holds the same rank. Yeah, we all hold ourselves and each other to the same standards, and we all want to be held to the same standards as each other and by yourselves. Yeah, we are here to serve you, and that's not just empty words. You know, even if we want to hold each other to account, you can stand assured that Sheikh Isa wouldn't let our standards slip at any stage. Yeah, the name of the package, you know, his name is in the package, so his reputation is on the line. And, you know, our package has become well known throughout the world amongst the scholars, amongst the providers. Yeah, if you see and you speak to any of the experienced Hajj providers and you tell them that you're looking for a package that is involved, that is educated, that is prepared, and that is going to provide you with something long-term, lifelong, then anybody that's true to themselves in terms of the Hajj game will point you towards us. Yeah. Sister Marco was asking, inshallah, it won't be more than another 30 minutes or so. It'll be recorded so you can watch later on. I think you're in the seminar in Canada, so you're welcome to watch it later on. Nothing mega important, and we won't keep you much longer. but you can watch this later. Jazakallah khair. So myself, Usman, I'm the one that answers some of your questions on the Hajj with AE Help channel. I've been absent for a few weeks, let's say, from the chat because the chat is not my cup of tea, let's say. Yeah, that there's a lot going on in there, and even within the team, we've had discussions as to should we open the chat, should we close the chat? We've gone with keeping it open. However, I will ask, and it's been a point of discussion for us amongst the team today, that what's happening with this chat is it's good that people are sharing ideas, etc., but it's also scaring people. Yeah, it's also putting people off that they're turning up to the chat. One of the team members said, you know, we have to come onto the chat and look at it every day. Yeah, we have to. It's part of our role to come and make sure there's nothing major that we're missing. And one of the brothers came on and said, I've had 500 messages just from today. With respect, those messages are mainly from the same people. Yeah, and a lot of it is good, but a lot of it is unnecessary. Yeah, and we'll be upfront with you on that. Try to spend your time doing something more beneficial. Yeah, certainly in these days. Yeah, that we all, well, most of us have families, most of us have other bits to be doing, and fine, you know, we can't tell you what to do with your time, as it were, but certainly now you have the videos, you have the material. Spend your time studying, spend your time preparing for Hajj. If not, then spend your time with your families that you're going to be away from for a few weeks. You know, work on your dua lists, work on your walking as you're doing, mashallah, going fantastic. You know, work on that side of things rather than spending your time glued to your phone. Yeah, some people I would love to see you know, on a Monday. Android users, maybe it's most of us will get the message that, oh, you use this amount of hours in the week on your phone. I'd love to see what some people are using, subhanAllah. And if you're using 20, 30, 40 hours a week, with respect, there's better things that you can do with that time. Yeah, come back, yeah, share your ideas, share your suggestions, but you know, be wise with your time. Yeah. So next person I'll mention is Doc. I don't know if Doc's here. Today is Doc's. It was his wish to have this seminar, but you all know Doc from the Dr. Abid, from the health side of things. Doc is the rock. Yeah, Doc is the first person on our team sheet, as it were, that the group would find it very difficult to manage beforehand, during, and after without Doc. So Jazakallah khair to him. Dr. Abid will be present throughout. He will be involved in many different parts, but certainly the medical side of things. He's fine-tuned. Maybe he's fine-tuned it with a big stick, but he's mashallah fine-tuned the medical side of Hajj. And it's if I think back to 2019, we had a kind of recap after Hajj, and we'll have this inshallah this time. The timing or the time available to is going to be quite short because we've cut down the number of days. But when we returned from Mina in 2019, we had a gathering, and we were about 200 people, and it was amazing to see. And it was something that Sheikh Abu Isa mentioned, was that we were in a group of 200 people that had returned from Mina after a strenuous few days of Hajj, and there was silence in a room, almost silence in the room, which is, it might not seem like much, but normally there would be a chorus of coughing, coughing, spluttering, people sounding openly unwell. And alhamdulillah, there was silence in that room, and it's from Allah, but no kind of small part of that was down to Doc's effort in terms of preparation beforehand. I'm not going to talk about the piles of drugs that he's going to bring along. I'm not going to talk about the letters that he's already writing for people's exemptions in terms of fingerprints, arranging vaccinations for people, all sorts of things, looking at people's kind of onward health schedules. Please don't be those people, though, that sit down so he'll have clinics that he'll run. And normally we start in Mecca. When people have already started, they will start to feel the effects of Medina and the heat, and we'll have clinics that he will put on don't come to him with your diabetes that you've had for the last 40 years, your joint pains that have been with you for years and years. Don't come with those, but he will manage any acute issues that we have there, to the extent that, if you ask me what's my memory of Doc in Hajj, my memories are of him having people's feet in his lap and strapping them up after they've come back with a load of blisters. Now, mashallah, he's a managing partner in 10 plus surgeries in the UK, so he's no need to be sitting there and doing that. But again, he's there for the sake of Allah and there for your benefit. So Jazakallah khair to him, and let's make the most kind of benefit of, or take the most benefit from his being with us, following his guidance. Yeah, the Jazakallah khair to the people that made the suggestions of kind of lemon and lime and these things. All good and well, but you have qualified, experienced people with you that are advising on what to use and what to take and what to pack and what to plan for. Take that advice, please. Yeah, Jazakallah khair. Then we have Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar, who is our Imam. I'm going to have a scroll, but I don't think he's with us today. Sheikh is, as has been mentioned, the voice of Hajj. He is our heart. He is our laughter. He is our Imam. He's a scholar amongst us. Again, he is the voice of our Hajj. He will be our Imam in terms of Salah whenever we get a chance. He will be our teacher in the Quran circles. Make use of him. Make use of him. When I think of within the UK, certainly and internationally, there's not many people that I can think of, and alhamdulillah, I have access to certain scholars that will be considered amongst the best in the world in terms of Quran. There's not many that come close to him. So Jazakallah khair to Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar, but do make use of his time whenever you get a chance to sit with him. He's the funniest guy you'll come across, so spend some time with him, whatever kind of level of Quran you're at. And it's a big part of our group, a big part of Sheikh Abu Isa's plans for yourselves and ourselves when we're there is to improve and increase on our Quran. Yeah, so do tap into him. Again, I won't say this for everybody, but in terms of my memory of Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar in Hajj is, we'll be in Mina and he'll finish Salah and he'll turn around and he will just recite from Quran. Yeah, and it's not something that most of us are used to, but if you get a chance to record it, I know I have done, but you'll just sit and enjoy. My own memory is Surah Maryam from the last few years that he will sit and recite, and then his du'as that will follow. Something to kind of benefit from and enjoy, inshallah. Then we have Shaz, Dr. Shazad Salim, who opened up tonight's meeting. Shaz is a mainstay of our group, a mainstay of Sheikh Abu Isa's programs and plans and works and life and management. Shaz is in charge of the rooming, so he's not going to sleep for the next few weeks. As has been mentioned, all your kind of room requests will be taken on, so don't kind of bombard him with questions and the like now. Shaz is your go-to guy for any kind of food or drink, certainly coffee suggestions in Medina, Mecca, so make sure you see him about that. But Jazakallah khair to Shaz. Then we have Danish. Shaz, I think most likely will be going from Manchester. He wishes, but inshallah he'll be going from Manchester. So you'll see Shaz next week. You'll see Doc next week. You'll definitely see Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar next week. So yeah, you'll get to meet them and say salam, inshallah. But that's Shaz, that's Salim. Next we have Danish. Danish is again the face of Hajj with AE. He's the actual face. He's the face of our social media of the last few years. An old in terms of experience, not years, but an old face within Hajj with AE, an old face in the Dawah internationally, certainly within Canada. The number of people that we will meet along the way that will ask, where are you guys from? Which group are you with? And if they say Canada, you'll say, yeah, do you know Danish? And they will know Danish. Yeah, Jazakallah khair to Danish. Danish's role. What's your role, Danish? Can you speak?
Officially head of the AV team.
Bismillah. So the AV team, hopefully, they will still be alive by the time we get to Hajj, but they will work on putting together the videos and the like that you have seen over the years. Jazakallah khair to them. Danish is the nice guy amongst the group. So if you want to be told off or you want some abuse, come and see me. If you want somebody to smile and make you feel better, certainly the aunties within the group, Danish is your man, mashallah. So Danish is out of Canada, and I believe he is going to be lucky enough to be traveling from Canada and not have to kind of stretch to the US this year. But Danish will be Danish will be on the, in Manchester next week also.
Yeah. He's also the face of our Instagram stories and all the narrative and all the things that you've been watching on Instagram. His narrative of what goes on, what's happening behind the scenes, and lets you all have a look at how our group is.
Jazakallah khair. So Danish will be again on the ground in Manchester next week, but he'll be flying from Toronto, so he'll be joining you guys from there. Those of you coming from Canada. Next we have Arif. Arif feels like he's been with us for about a decade, but he joined the team last year. Jazakallah khair. That he is based currently out of Muscat, Oman. I don't know where he is because he's traveling all over the world recently, but he'll be traveling in from Muscat, inshallah. So he'll be on the ground to welcome you guys in Medina. Arif is the head of everything on the ground, mashallah. He'll be very busy there, very accessible, as well as being a mainstay of the logistical team and the planning team beforehand. He is a teacher and an imam in his own right. So again, making use of his time whenever you can find him will be definitely recommended. Jazakallah khair to Arif. Next we have our resident Bangla imam. Yeah, so any aunties, any uncles that want to have a good chat in Bangla, go and see Tanweer. So Tanweer, mashallah, is a student of knowledge. He is, again, a scholar, an imam amongst us. He's a graduate of the University of Medina. He has taken and led groups in Hajj and Umrah for many years and does so very, very well. He is an old face to us that whenever we would visit, or whenever we did visit Medina in the past, he'd be our guide, our host, but now he's back in the UK, working in the Dawah in the UK, and he'll be traveling, I believe, out of London, he hopes. Don't know, you're there next week? He's in Manchester next week as well, so you'll get to meet him. Again, people have lots to offer. Yeah, certainly these guys have lots to offer in terms of the deen and their experiences and their kind of skills. Make the most of it. Yeah, a big part of Hajj for any group, but certainly for ours, is to that you've got 16, 17, 18, 19 days where you won't have much else other than yourselves and your Hajj and your spirituality and your deen and your Islam to think about. Yeah. We're all leaving families behind. You leave kids behind, and with respect to the mothers and fathers, I know it's a stressful time, but from experience, I can say that when you get there, you will forget your kids, and most likely your kids will forget you as well. Yeah, in a good way. Alhamdulillah, as an ummah and as a kind of as a standard, if you like, we have families around us that are going to help us with this, friends around us that are going to help us with taking care of our children that we leave behind, and they do a fantastic job. A lot of the times they'll spoil our kids, but we'll have to deal with that when we get back. But yeah, we want to make the most of your time there. Yeah, certainly, that it's something that we're kind of grappling with, is the fact that we've cut down the days on this program. That traditionally, until this year, we were always a 20-day, 21-day program. Those 3 or 4 days were normally spent in Azizia, in what we call base camp. Yeah. This year is going to be a little bit different. That time is a lot shorter. But that time was when you would have and even this year we will have our study circles and our Quran and our dhikr circles. We will have them, but they won't be as numerous as they have in the past. But it just means you've got to make sure that when you get a chance, you use it. Yeah, so when you get to sit with Sheikh Isa and you get to answer your questions, whether that's on walks or whether that's when you are in the kind of designated sessions that we'll have, make sure you use that time. And the way that you use that is from now. That if you think there's something that I want to improve on, there's something that I want advice on, make a note of it now. Yeah, make a note of it now so that when you get there, you get the chance. You sit and you ask and you discuss. Any of the team, mashallah, the team are all kind of skilled and experienced in different things. Share their experience, use their experience, inshallah. And last, but very, very means not least, we have Naeem. So Naeem is an old friend, again, not old in years, but old in kind of time and how close he is to the whole of the group, certainly to myself, certainly to Sheikh Isa. Naeem joined us for Hajj in 2018. And ever since, he has been our go-to person for most things. Yeah, in terms of physically, practically, and now everything that a lot of what you're seeing in terms of the bots, in terms of the AI, the stuff that he's doing, I probably can't mention. I'm not sure how legal a lot of it is, but he's been a fantastic help throughout. And I know it seems like, if you asked your friends that are going with other groups, they probably haven't had much interaction at all. They probably haven't been asked, I'm not going to say half, even 20% of the forms and the questions and the polls that you've been asked to fill. And I know it can seem overwhelming, certainly for those people that are not used to kind of using Telegram and kind of emails and messages. But trust us that this will work in your benefit. This will work in our benefit to be able to plan for you, but once we're on the ground, it will work in your benefit. It will allow us to kind of maximize your experience, to make it as best possible. And a lot of that this year has been streamlined and been made a lot easier and smoother by Naeem's input. So Jazakallah khair, Naeem. Naeem will be in Manchester next week, of course. And Jazakallah. So that is the team. Hopefully I've not missed anybody. Anybody missing? No, Jazakallah khair. So like I said, our main reason for coming on is to introduce ourselves.
You forgot Ghassan. He's not coming, but...
Oh, sorry. Ghassan is the man with the camera. Yeah. Ghassan, again, has been he's been a part of the team for a long time in terms of on the ground, even pre-planning, a lot of the literature that's coming out. All our kind of AV side of things is managed by him. All our graphics, all our posters, etc., are planned and put together by himself. Ghassan is out of Sweden. Sheikh has had the rahmah on him to let him stay at home with his young child and his family. Yeah, that it is difficult. It is difficult for the team to leave behind family members. And it is, it's a blessing. It's an honor to be part of a team like this, but it is time consuming. Yeah, it's time consuming. And what we've realized is that this group, if I think back to my own kind of experience, we started in 2016 with 50 people in the group, or 49 people, and Sheikh Abu Isa, and he managed it himself. Yeah, and it's grown from that to, mashallah, 530 odd people. And it's always been a passion project for Sheikh, but also for the rest of us. Yeah, it's been something that we want to be part of, but we also have to realize the rights of our families upon us, the rights of our even our communities upon us, and that's why, alhamdulillah, we have the support and the team that we have. But it means that we're able to use experience and skills that we have without, hopefully, not being allowed back into our houses when we get back. Yeah, but so Ghassan is a major part of the team. Jazakallah khair to him, and you'll see him certainly in projects that are coming up in the near future. I'm sure he'll be dragged into the AV meetings even while we're out there, and he'll certainly be involved with producing the masterpieces that the group does once we get back. So that, inshallah, is the team. Again, like I said, for now, Try not to DM. If you're going to DM, Hajj Uday help, that will come through to us, and we will kind of put our heads together to answer your questions. Anything, obviously, if it's drastic, then or kind of mega urgent, then do reach out. But otherwise, we're going to have a chance now for your Q&A. You're more than welcome to ask, and we'll try to answer. Take our advice. You know, between us, if I think about the number of Hajjs that we've completed, and the number of, you know, people that have traveled within Hajj, we're going to be in the tens, if not the hundreds of thousands between us. Yeah, this counts for something. Yeah.
Just one thing I'd like to add, Chief, is that we're very meticulous about how we release information. Yeah, so if it's something that we haven't addressed yet, it's because either it's coming later or it's something that you don't need to worry about it until the time for it comes, and we will address it inshallah. So we typically don't like to jump the gun, and we're obviously, you know, we're inundating you with a lot of information. So there's things that we want you to focus on, and there's going to be things that, you know, are better served for, let's say, a later phase in the day. So just wanted to add that.
Danish, do you want to explain about the airport and flights, please?
Yeah, sure. Chief, are you done your
Yeah, I'm done. Of course, we will take the questions towards the end, but any issues that pop up, we're all here to help, and that's we want to make it the best experience for everybody. So let's work together to do that, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Okay, so maybe I'll start with what Doc was kind of alluding to. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. My name is Danish, and as Chief mentioned, I'm one of the guides on the Hajj with AE team, and they asked me to speak to you today about how all the departures are going to work out. So the number one rule of showing up for your flight is that you should be calm, cool, and collected. This is the number one thing. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time. So you'll see that there's a flight list that's been published, and this flight list includes all of the group flights. All of the group flights for A1400U are included from the UK, from Toronto, and from JFK. The STH are not yet included. That will be coming out, but you will see on there exactly what the timings of the group flights are. And then you'll also see a departure time and a terminal, you know, which is usually where the flight is going to be leaving from. So the two flight carriers that we have are Saudi Airlines and Turkish Airlines. And so with regards to having some guidelines in place of going to the airport, I mean, you want to make sure that you're there at least 4 to 5 hours early. If it's your local airport, for example, in London and Manchester, you know, you want to be there so that you're the first or second person in line. You want to be there 5 hours early because we always every year see issues. Those of you, where you don't live close to the departure airport, for example, if you're taking from Toronto or from JFK and you're living on the other side of the country, then it might be very worthwhile for you to get there a day early, spend the night, and then take it, because it is a long journey, especially for those of us here in North America. And I've personally found in my experience that just having that extra day or night of rest before you embark on a very long journey. So, for example, I'm based out of Calgary, Alberta, which is in the west. Typically, I'll go into Toronto a day early, you know, have a nice rest, and then go the next day. So you'll see it adds on a little extra day, but at the same time, it is a very, very long journey, and it kind of helps you deal with that long jet lag and the long travel duration. Now, once you get to the airport, you want to make sure that you have obviously your travel documents with you. You know, I like to tell people that it's a good idea to have, because at the travel desk, you know, like I said, arrive 4 to 5 hours early as per the time that's printed on the list. And then make sure that you have your Hajj visa printed with you. Make sure that the passport you bring is your own. And as well as print out your meningitis certificate. So any of the important documents, I mean, they will accept it if they see it on your phone, but it's always good to have a physical copy if you want to have a printed copy and bring it with you. Those are the three things that I can think of. So what happened last year with respect to the passport, I can just speak to you from experience, is that, you know, one of the sisters, I was flying out from JFK, she came with us and she brought all of the passports of her family, but she didn't have her own passport with her, right? So allowing her to come 4 to 5 hours early to the airport gave her that extra time and for us to be able to coordinate a plan for her. So she wasn't able to, because she lived very far away from the airport, like a day's worth of trip. She was coming from another part of the country. You know, but at the same time, we were then able to coordinate something for her, and that allowed us the time to do that. You know, for us, we will not be able to do that if we have to fly out within the next 90 minutes or something like that. So it's very, very important that you show up early. And, you know, by showing up early, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is going to wait a little bit, right? Which is not, inshallah, a problem. So when you get to the airport, what you will do is you will meet with the guides first. So we will, a day or two early, we will post videos in the Telegram chat, and we will send you that, hey, my name is Danish. I'm going to be meeting you at YYZ Terminal 1, and then I'll record a video from the terminal, and I'll say this is going to be the spot that we're going to be meeting in. And same thing with JFK, and same thing with Manchester, and same thing with London. They will send you a video on which guides are going to be at which airport, and this will happen a couple of days before departure. So you go, once you enter the airport, you go and you see your guide. He will give you some bag tags, Al-Bayt tags. He's going to give you some documentation. Perhaps it could be a few baggage tag stickers, things that you will need to put on your luggage. I also advise people that when they get there to make sure that you take a picture of your luggage. This is also very important. So let's say you have 3 pieces of luggage, make sure you take a picture of each of them in case you have lost luggage when you get there. You will have some proof to show to the person who is on the lost luggage side. And I wouldn't stress too much about it. Lost luggage usually makes its way back to its owner within the next, 48 hours or so. So that's not a problem. It may happen to some of you. I would, it's just a reality of traveling. So I think that's more or less what I had to say with respect to departure. Be early, check in with your guide, and just be calm, cool, collected. Make sure that you take an extra 15 minutes from your home to make sure that you have all of the documents that you need. Your passport being the chief amongst them. Make sure that you have physical copies of your documentation, like your meningitis certificate, like your Hajj visa. And I think that's more or less it. Yeah, and then we will give you some things like the itinerary, etc., XYZ. You can choose to print them if you want. You can choose not to print them. It's up to you. But those are the 3 things that you should have physical copies of, just in case. And then your Hajj visa, you may be asked to check once you get over there. For example, when you get your SIM card, they will ask to see your visa. So just having a physical copy helps you from, in case your phone battery is dying or something happens to your phone and you can't access it, you always have a physical copy. Anything else, Chief? Doc,
No,
does that kind of cover?
Just
Open your passport to make sure it's yours. Because we had that.
Sorry?
I said open your passport to make sure it's yours.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, we have cases of people who show up to the airport and they think they have everything and then they realize they don't. So
yeah, and for those people with multiple passports, we've come across a few when doing the data. So mashallah, have got quite a few passports. Make sure you bring the right passport as well.
Yeah. So the passport has to be the one that's mentioned in your Hajj visa. The visas is non-negotiable. You have to have your visa printed out. I'd say a couple of copies of the visa would be advisable. It's a different world now in terms of Hajj. If I think back to since 2016 until 2024, so 24, so last year, maybe in those years, personally, I was asked for my visa once or twice in the whole of that time. Yeah, and then last year we got to Hajj, and maybe just last year we were asked about 10 times to prove our right to be there. Yeah, so you will be asked, and it's helpful to have there. Fair enough, on your phone is fine, but certainly having 1 or 2 copies of your visa is definitely advised. So we definitely recommend that. Again, the advice in terms of passports, advice in terms of patience, you're going to be told this again and again in terms of different things. but being patient is important. Sheikh will touch on this, and it's not, we're not the type of group that says, oh, it's Hajj, so be patient. But at the same time, if you come into Hajj without that kind of switch and that mindset, what you'll find is that you'll only damage your own experience. You kind of take away from your own experience. It is difficult, even within ourselves, there's 500 of us, and we are in hotels with 2,000 or 3,000. Then we will be in Mina with a camp of 5,000 or 6,000, and then you're walking amongst hundreds of thousands, and then in the scheme of things, you're one of millions of people, and every person has their own challenges and difficulties. And if we don't kind of come with a preset or a mindset that's going to say, okay, I'm going to work through whatever comes, then it's going to take away from your own experience. Getting to
there will be a lot of waiting. There will be a lot of waiting. Just be ready to be waiting and have a plan while waiting. For example, you want to maybe have your own mushaf or something, or your dua book. So whenever that moment comes where we'll get a hit with an unexpected 2-3 hour wait, that you have something to do, that you're not just twiddling your thumbs, right? So have a plan in place. It is going to happen. Things are going to go wrong, and we're there to deal with it, right, on your behalf or sort things out. But at the same time, we can't plan for everything. And so go with the mindset, like Chief said, that things are going to go wrong. And when they go wrong, that you have a plan in place, how you're going to personally react to that happening, right? So there's people who are getting very frustrated. They're going to destroy their mood. They're going to destroy their spirituality. And then there's the people who say, you know what, Allah, it happens. What can you do? And they're going to make use of that time while they're waiting. So it's, when you're hit with some sort of a calamity or an adverse effect, what is your reaction going to be to that? So that's your own personal, that's something that you have to sort out with yourself, right? And if you're able to sort that out with yourself, you're going to be able to have a much more enhanced experience, a much more joyous experience, a much more happy experience than if you're just completely frustrated all the time, right? Because it's going to be hot. Like I said, things are going to go wrong. You might you might be sick. You might not be feeling the greatest, but having the right mindset is so important. It's so important, like Chief said.
Exactly. Definitely the case. Again, getting to the airport early, it's a different kind of time where we're used to traveling. We're used to, getting to the airport, an hour or 2 hours before flights. It's not the case with Hajj. It's not the case with Hajj. We've seen and experienced many different things that, you can arrive at the airport and the airline can turn around and say, right, you don't have a ticket. We'll have a ticket in our hand with your name on, with your confirmation on, and they'll turn around and say you don't have one. Alhamdulillah, it always gets sorted, but we need time. So if you turn up an hour before and this happens, it's going to be a lot more difficult for us to help you. Whereas if you're there 3 or 4 hours beforehand, then we will manage it and we'll get through. So give it plenty of time, inshallah. Doc, do you want to kind of direct the next person or what you want to discuss?
Sister Vidal.
I was catching up on the chat before we started this webinar, and I just wanted to kind of reiterate, I agree with what Uthman was saying about spending your time wisely and everything, but I don't 100% agree, and I know Sheikh will definitely disagree. It's very important to Sheikh that the group dynamic is kind of relaxed and people are allowed to chat and everything. But obviously, I don't think anybody would disagree with the fact that you need to be spending your time wisely. So I know some people, when they hear us talking about using their time wisely or mentioning how active the chat is, they might feel bad posting questions or, just interacting with other fellow members. And that shouldn't be the case. Don't feel bad using the chat. It's there for you to use it and for you to kind of consult with everybody and ask your questions. But what I was thinking basically about how things have gone from the start, even like pre-Nusuk. We all saw how time and time again we were getting questions over and over again, and we had to keep saying, guys, hold your horses. This will all be addressed. Be patient. We see how so many Amazon links are being shared right now We see people walking 75,000 steps in one day. It's a lot of excitement, which is good, alhamdulillah. It's essentially a good thing that people are so passionate and excited to be here and excited to make progress. And we sometimes talk about how, or complain about actually how Hajj used to be so much easier back in the day, where you just go to a travel agent, you give them your information, you pay them your money, and then you just show up at the airport when it's time to go, and you didn't have to deal with nusuk, and you didn't have to deal with all these crazy packing lists and everything. And it does seem a lot more complicated now. But I was actually just reflecting on the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, which I had never really thought about it that much before. The fact that it mentions, or you know what, before I say that, if people in the chat can tell me, how long do you think Hajj season is? And it might take a second for people to type, but if you can just post your answers in the chat. Hajj season starts next week. So after the seminar, right? Okay, a couple weeks before. Let's see what some other answers are. Shawwal, Dhul-Qa'dah, Dhul-Hijjah, 3 months, yeah. So the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah mentions Al-Hajj Ashhurun Ma'lumat. It mentions several months. And I think some people might think Hajj is just, those couple of days that were there. But back in the day, it was, imagine just after Ramadan, immediately going into your ihram and traveling for that long. So it's always been a long process, and it has been a long process for us. And like I said, it's a good thing that everybody's passionate and excited about it. But we do want to be kind of considering that, considering how people's time might have been spent back then when they're, on their riding animals and just getting in the zone, basically. Maybe I'm romanticizing it, I don't know. But in my mind, those people who go by horseback, or just buy all these crazy travel means, who are traveling for months in advance in ihram, I would imagine that their mindset would be completely different to ours, because we spend months ahead of Hajj just sharing memes and having a laugh on Telegram, which is great. But it's something to reflect on, I think. What kind of mindset do you want to be in these months and weeks leading up to Hajj? And just kind of auditing yourself. Sheikh spoke about this yesterday in the the Friday session here in Toronto. Auditing yourself and just reflecting on how you're using your time, exactly as Uthman said. We don't want to discourage people. If a lot of chatter needs to happen in the chat, that's fine. But make sure you're spending your time wisely. I think a lot of people can let the shopping get out of hand. And it sometimes, like he said, it sometimes scares people, not only the volume of messages that are in there, but the amount of detail that people go into when they're, comparing different brands and different products. And again, I know it comes from a place of excitement and wanting this to be the best experience possible, especially because Hajj is sometimes a once-in-a-lifetime experience, or most of the time it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a lot of people. But try to just manage that energy that you're feeling. And if you have a lot of energy and you notice that it's going a lot towards shopping and not enough towards your dua prep, for example, then you might want to redirect some of that energy towards, preparing your duas, and tying up any loose ends that you might have, and just preparing in the way that Sheikh and the team have been advising. The other thing about all the shopping lists and everything, I am concerned that a lot of people are going to buy so much stuff without realizing that they're going to have to carry all of that. So stick to the packing list. Don't go overboard. And just remember that you're going to have to be carrying all that stuff, and you're going to have to be carrying it in the heat. So don't go too crazy on the shopping. People have performed Hajj with much less, and they were just fine. Follow the advice of the team. If they've told you to pack it, you should. We always err on the side of caution when it comes to, creating these packing lists for everybody. We know that people will have leftover things that they don't end up using, but it's important to get it. And I think Dr. Abid can maybe speak on this point. Sometimes you might think to yourself, oh, I can just get it from a pharmacy there. And, so it's the case that you actually can't. So everything that we're advising that you bring, it's for a reason. Get it even if you feel like it might be superfluous, don't go overboard beyond what we have on the packing list. You might get a few other comfort items like Sheikh did, your luxury items or whatever. But try to rein it in and don't go overboard. Finally, I'll just say that I wish there was some way that we could have like a dua prep leaderboard, the way that we do with the step count. Obviously, it's kind of hard to quantify how much dua prep we've done. We could time how much time we spend at our notebooks or at our desks or on a prayer mat. But obviously that's also awkward because, then you're comparing how much ibadah you've done and it just feels weird. But it is something that I kind of wish we could do, because I feel that competing in how much walking we're doing, it's been very effective to have that leaderboard, and we see people taking it to the next level, mashallah. And I just feel that so many of us, myself included, can sometimes neglect that dua prep because we don't have that competitive energy and we don't have that encouragement from others in the group. So please make sure that you're spending that time and compare how much effort you've put into your walking to how much effort you've put into your dua prep. Sometimes it's the case that you're going to have to do your dua prep on the go. Maybe, if you set a goal for yourself that you want to walk a certain amount, work on your duas while you're walking. You can send yourself voice notes. You can type on your phone. If you need to forsake your walking prep to focus on your dua prep, maybe that's what you need to do. But that's one thing that I kind of wanted to say is I have that regret in my heart, kind of, that we don't have some way of competing in something like how much time we spend preparing for the duas that we're going to be making when we're over there, inshallah. So that's just something to keep in mind, and that's all from me. Jazakumullah khair. I don't know who's next. No problem.
Arif. Brother Arif.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a very few words about movements, inshallah, during the program and during our time. We've heard Sheikh Abu Isa already speak about movement being the most stressful part of the Hajj, and that's that doesn't come from it comes from experience. Danish has already mentioned with regards to flights and that things we try to make things as smooth as possible, but things go wrong, and they will go wrong, and that's why we require cooperation from everyone. Obviously, our group is large. Over 530 people, that's probably close to 12 buses, and it's very difficult to move 12 buses at the same time, no matter how much effort we can put in preparation. And believe me, we do a lot, but things become difficult. So what I would just want to put forth for everyone is that we need absolute cooperation from everybody and trust, and we need everybody to trust in the process. We will divide people into groups. You will know your bus group. We will have the people that are leading your bus, one or more leaders per bus. You need to just identify them and identify the people that you know on your bus, and stick to instructions. There will be temptations to get antsy, and you would want to leave first or leave last, or why haven't we moved yet? These people have already made it there and we're still waiting in the hotel. Just understand that there's a lot of difficult challenges that come with moving 12 buses, or anything from 10 and up in terms of buses at the same time. So just be patient with us and stick to the instructions and help us by cooperating with the process that we will announce. And we will be very clear with our instructions before any major move that we have, before any activity that we will do. We will let you know what the plan is, where we're going to gather, how we're going to gather, what order and what bus you're going to take. Just be tentative to the instructions and stick to the instructions and help us in that way. I think that's all I wanted to say, to just give people a reminder and something to look forward to, inshallah. And one last thing. Our bus trips are not long, so they're shorter trips, but they define some of our major movements. Especially when we move from Azizia, from our base camp to Mina, from Mina to Arafah, and other major moves. You might not be with your mates or with your, with your family, or depending on where you're flying from. There's a lot of logistical considerations that we have to take in, to make, so that we can make these trips as easy as possible or as smooth as possible for everyone. And that might result in you not being with your group or your cohort. So don't make a big deal of that. Like I said, most of these bus trips will be short, and you will be, in no time, you will be with your group and with your family, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you, Arif. Tanveer, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. Because I finally have the mic, I'm going to clear my name first. Number one, what Chief said before, to all my Bengali uncles and aunties out there, please don't speak to me in Bangla, I will embarrass myself. And number two, every time something happens to the Telegram, I know everyone blames me, but I swear it's not me. So that's just the first things I want to get out of the way. Second of all, just a few words on, of course, alhamdulillah, the group has done a fantastic job of bringing out a few of these recent PDFs. So that you got the one that Sheikh made, the art of reaching out. We've got the du'as of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by Sheikh Musa Abbad, and we'll have one more coming out, which I don't know if it's a surprise, but I'm going to do it now anyway, just so that I'm able to speak about it. And it's going to be the fiqh of Hajj, which was originally written by Sheikh Al-Albani, and it is a translation to the book. So I just wanted to give a few words, and very shortly and briefly, about how best to benefit from these books. Now, these books, of course, are a great work by the team, but by no means is everything that's out there. And so whenever you are trying to benefit from a book, there are three things that I would like to mention. Number one, before reading any book, and before any act of worship, if anything, realistically, is always have your niyyah in place, of course. And when I say niyyah, there are two parts of your niyyah. So you have your actual intention, which always is meant to be that you do something for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do that to seek that closeness to Him. But also what I mean by it is more like a qasd. It's what do you want to achieve from reading this book? When you look at Sheikh's book, the art of reaching out, what are you really trying to attain when you read this book? What are you going to take back from it afterwards? When you're reading the du'as of the Prophet, are you reading it so that you are able just to recite Arabic? Are you reading it just so that you are familiar with the du'as, and that are you reciting it so that you are able to memorize it? Have that clear plan ahead of yourself. And even with the Fiqh of Hajj book that's about to come out, again, what are you trying to achieve by reading the book? So that's number one. Number two is, whenever reading a book, always have sabr. When it comes to talab al-ilm, when it comes to seeking knowledge, we always have to have patience. And I say that especially in the day and age that we live in now, where we have such short attention spans. And obviously a lot of this comes down to the fact that we're on our phone so much, where we're used to like 10-second clips on YouTube and TikTok and whatnot. And our brains are wired in such a way that we are unable to take in knowledge the way that people have in the past. And so when you read a book, and after about 5-10 minutes you start getting bored and you start flicking through your phone again, it's having that patience to hold off from that. But not just patience from that, but also patience in the fact that you won't learn everything overnight. When it comes to seeking knowledge, there has to be some sort of effort from your side, and it will take some time to pick up these du'as, to memorize those. For those of you who are trying to memorize the du'a book, it's a fantastic goal to have, and it will especially help you on the days of Hajj, and learn the meanings to them, if anything, as well, because the whole point of your dua is that you have that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the best way to have that connection is knowing what you're saying. So have that patience with yourself that you will be able to memorize it. It will just take a bit of effort. And then finally is application. that whenever you read a book, have that intention behind your head that whatever you learn, you're going to apply it as well. Because, of course, even when you're reading the book that Sheikh has written about dua and everything, it's all nice and great. It's great to read, but if you're not applying it, then you've not really benefited from it. The same with the du'as of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you these du'as, you read them, but how are you gonna apply those in your daily life as well? And just on the memorizing part as well, trying to keep it. And then finally, sorry, the fiqh of Hajj, the final book that is to come out. This one in particular, I'm going to say, is when inshallah, when you guys get a chance to read through it, there is a lot to take in, especially for those who have never studied the fiqh of Hajj, for those who have never seen what Hajj is actually like on the ground. And even that, I will say from personal experience, like 15 years ago when I was studying this in Darul Uloom for the first time, I had been for Hajj for the very first time a few years prior to that with my father, I remember. And everyone in our class, when we were getting taught this the fiqh of Hajj, everyone was very, very confused, because you hear about these things or you're reading what it's in the book, but you can't actually imagine what it's like. And I'll give you a prime example of that is like when you read in that hadith and when you read in books of fiqh where it says that you'll climb up Mount Safa, but in reality when you go there, you're not actually climbing up a mountain. You're inside the masjid, and and you're just kind of, if anything, we're going to go up to the first floor on an escalator, and you're not actually going to see any mountains. So the reality is very different to what you're seeing in a book. But it's always good to have that knowledge in general, and inshallah when we get there, you'll be able to apply the knowledge that you have learnt from the books, from the great videos that Sheikh has released as well. And yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. It's intention, having patience, and applying inshallah what you take back from all of the books. And yeah, inshallah I look forward to seeing everyone next week during the seminar. Assalamu alaikum.
If I could just add, Sheikh last night mentioned to the group that's here in Toronto that a lot of people will sometimes, he said he noticed that over the years, a lot of people before going for Hajj, they focus so much on the fiqh, and they focus a lot on what they need to pack and everything. And he was saying when it comes to the fiqh, it's honestly very difficult to get it wrong, especially when you're with a group and you're guided by people. So when we do release these PDFs, I don't want anybody to feel overwhelmed by how much reading needs to be done or anything like that. By all means, do take personal responsibility to read through it all. It's useful information. But if people are short on time and they're struggling to keep up with the videos and everything, don't feel like you have to have it all memorized and you need to be an expert in the fiqh. That's not at all the case. It's there for you to use to feel confident, because we want to equip everyone with that sense of confidence while they're there, and a certain sense of independence in general when it comes to your practice of Islam. But we are there with you as a resource if you have any questions. So don't feel like you need to, read these books and have everything absolutely memorized. It's there, like I said, for you to use and enjoy, basically. Don't let it become something very stressful, inshallah. That's all.
Thank you, Sister Vidal. Yeah, most of the points have been covered. I just want to add a couple of points which I have written. First thing is, when you arrive in Saudi, please don't try to change Saudi government. Everybody thinks, oh, Saudi should do this, and Saudi should do, they should do change this, and why they are blocking the roads, and why they are not going to listen to you. So don't even think about it. So they are not going to change. The way they are absolutely right, whatever they are doing. So don't try to change them, and you can't change them. So please, that's number one. Number two, I will mention last year, Sister Vidad has mentioned about the packing of the bags. Last year, when we were leaving from Mina to Arafah, I have been asked by our Amir to go in certain bus which was not my bus. So I rushed. I went on a bus. When I arrived in Mina, Arafah, I looked back to pick up my bag, and my bag was not there. So I left my bag in Mina. So I went to the Arafah without my bag. That was the best thing happened with me throughout the Hajj. I stayed in Arafah whole day. I went to Muzdalifah from there. I went to Jamrat from there. I spent those 2 days without my bag. I did not miss a single thing. And I was traveling light. So I was light. I did not have anything to carry. So it was much more comfortable than years before. So you don't miss anything. We pack for just in case everything. And just in case sometimes never happens. So you have to remember you have to walk hours and hours with a heavy bag on your shoulder, even few grams extra, which make a huge difference. So please listen whatever we are telling you. You can do whatever you want, but we are telling you from our experience. Third thing is, when the team states to you to do certain thing at certain time, or we say to you, come downstairs, everybody we want at 9:30, it means 9:30. Problem is this, oh, my wife is coming, my sister is coming. Please, sometimes we have very tight schedule to work on, and we have certain things to achieve on time. So punctuality is very, very important. And we don't say things just for the sake of things. We say things because that's the way things are. It's most difficult to tell of an adult. We don't want it to be shout anybody. We don't want it. But unfortunately, sometimes the time restraints make us say things which we don't want to. So please bear with us on those kind of things. And punctuality is very, very, very important, because we have to look after the whole group. Last year, we had one family who after waiting for 20 minutes for them, they came out of the base camp late. We left our base camp to walk to the Mina. They came behind us. After 1 hour of walking, they didn't know where they are going, and they have to go back to base camp. They could not come with us. The same thing happens with every moment. Punctuality is very, very important. Last but not least, about the medication request. Unfortunately, I think there is some misunderstanding from my part or from our group part. Is I have never ever promised that I will provide every single medicine. I have provided a form to provide the antibiotics or norethistyrone medication, which I am sourcing it in bulk. Rest of the medication I never promised or not sourcing it. People have requested naproxen, lansoprazole, nebulization medications, codeine, cocodamol. People are requesting all sorts of medication in the form. Unfortunately, I never promised that one, and we are not sourcing that one. Unfortunately, that is between you and your GP. Yes, antibiotics, because everybody needs it, and most of the GPs does not provide it. So I am sourcing that one. Norethistyrone, I am sourcing that one. And tranexamic acid, I'm sourcing that one. The medications for the Canadian people and USA people, I will be carrying enough medications for them. So whatever they can source from their in USA and Canada, they can source. Rest of it, I will be having enough medication for them there. Rest of it, I think everybody has covered everything else. Please, if we say, I say anything, or Chief say anything, or Shehzad will say anything, because we are the three people who will have a stick in our hand like a headmaster. The rest of our people, Danish, Tanveer, Sister Vidar, they are very gentle. They will not say anything.
You can take Shehzad off that as well. Shehzad wants anything. If Doc shouts at you, you know you've done something wrong. If I shout at you, then it's a normal day. Yeah. So just bear with us. You know, like we said, we're all there with the hopefully the right intention, but to make it a pleasurable experience for you, but for everybody else as well. Yeah, that we are only as quick or as slow as the slowest person, and we don't mind going slow, but and we will accommodate everybody, but it can't be that you know, we take advantage of the situation. Yeah, so Jazakallah khair everybody for all the advice throughout. We will have Q&A. we'll have Q&A now. So ask your questions, and we'll try to answer, but try and kind of keep it to one question each, let's say, to start off with. And we see where we go from there. You'll have the option and the opportunity to ask your questions next week as well at the seminar. But yeah, Sister Azad, if you want to take care of this.
Yeah, so if you have a question, just put your hand up so we can see, and then we can unmute you so you can ask your question. Bushra, go ahead, ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Jazakallah khair for all the information you've given today. I just had a question about the Rawda. I just wanted to know, are you able to give an insight on how that process would usually work? I know sometimes the slots can go really quick, and normally they give the bookings online on Nusuk beforehand. Is it the same with Hajj time? And how would that go usually?
I'll take this one. So yes, you will have the option to book beforehand. Yes, they do go very quickly. Yes, it's a very dynamic system and it's changing all the time. But just wait for the advice, and the advice will come from ourselves beforehand. But you'll be booking it in the days prior to leaving, and you will.
Just to add to that, by the
way,
way, it won't be before we leave. As of late, I think just as I was leaving Saudi in January, they had changed the rules where you can only book a Rawda appointment once you're in Medina. So they track your location on your phone, and if you're in Medina, you're able to book a Rawda slot.
Yeah. So like I said, it's very dynamic. We will do our best in terms of advising you. We will try and do some other moves as well, but just wait on the advice. We will give it to you in plenty of time. It will be in the announcements channel. It is important for us that you get a chance to go to the Rawda, but we have to remember that we are one of millions that are there, and the time slots are limited. So you'll work with us and be patient with that, and follow the guidance. Inshallah, we will do whatever we can to get you a chance to visit the Rawda.
Yeah, I think name was left. Name has to go through words as a name, please.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I was just thinking, right? I was with you guys, Chief and Doc, back in 2018, and now this team, and mashallah, the levels that this team has taken, the preparation for the Hajjaj is something else. We have, the quality of material coming out for dua prep, for packing, from the masterclass videos, all on the Essential Guides portal. And we're delivering that by 3 mechanisms. One is Telegram, like the team's been discussing, and that's our primary delivery mechanism. And even on site in Saudi, that will be our main communication method, as Shazad pointed out at the start of this session. So everyone needs to be on Telegram. And if you don't know how to use Telegram by now, you should be prepping to use Telegram ASAP. The other thing is we're delivering or notifying you of content via the bot. And I currently have around a 60% reply rate, and I need that to be 90%. So if you see that message come from the bot, make sure you reply as read. You'll see a little green button that appears below the message. Just hit that, and it will get recorded that this message was read. So I need that around 90% to know that the people in this group are receiving the content and they're acting on that content. And then we have our emails from the Google groups. Now, if you know the amount of pain that Sheikh went through in terms of setting that up this year, even though I told him to skip it. So there's like 600 emails in that group, and we have got like reads of 10s and 20s. So make sure you read the posts coming out from the Google groups as well. So just keep those key lines of communication going. But when we're on site, everyone needs to be on Telegram. There's no excuses, by the way, in terms of not receiving content or not being notified of things that are happening from this group. So everyone should be receiving content and being aware of what's going on at the moment. And I will be on site, inshallah, next week when everyone's here in Chido, and I look forward to catching up with everyone. That's me.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to inshallah. Next question, please.
Anybody has any questions?
Alhamdulillah. I think everybody wants to go and watch the boxing.
There's 3 hands up.
Is there? Mostly the hands.
Tamir, if you can right-click on the names that you see and
All
allow
right.
to speak. I saw somebody posted in the chat. Do we have the option of seat selection at the airport or in advance if somebody wants to take that question?
We don't know is the honest answer. You will receive, so that the flight tickets will come to you from Al Bayt, but they'll come via us as well. But Al Bayt have an app that they use to share the information. It's called Rafiq, and that will show your ticket whenever it's prepared and ready. You can then use the PNR or the booking reference on there to contact the airline and to try to make those changes, but it's very hard to say whether that will be possible. You should certainly try, but it's not something that we have any control over, unfortunately. But as soon as that information is available to us, we will share it with you. Al Bayt will share it with you as well. So you'll use that as means of contact with the airline to try and arrange what you need to, inshallah.
Sophia, go ahead when you're ready.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My concern is that my sister and my neighbors, they didn't get the visa yet. They did the biometric.
I'll stop you there. There's no need to be concerned. There's many people that don't have the visas. We've not got our visas. Not to be concerned yet at all. We will tell you when you need to be concerned about that, and we'll be helping you with fixing that. Very unlikely that somebody's not going to get the visa. Some take longer than others. Again, we are one of millions that are going through this process. So just bear with us. And like I said, if there's something to worry about, we'll be worried about it more than you and before you. So don't worry right now, inshallah.
I can tell you, Sophia, that I didn't get mine until like 6 days before the flight last year. So we've still got plenty of time. Don't worry.
Okay, that's fine. Me and my son, we both got it, but it's just my sister and my neighbors.
Yeah, that's fine.
Two of them, they didn't get it. But we've emailed to, the Saudi embassy, the email which was given, the invoice with all the details as well. We've emailed them that.
That's fine. Like I said, they'll work on that. We're working on that. Al Bayt will work on that. Everybody is working here to get everybody to go to Hajj. So, we'll work together and we'll get there, but not to worry about that at all right now, inshallah.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much. Assalamu
alaikum.
Unmuted Dilshad and Omar.
Yeah, Omar, I think was first. Omar, if you can go.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a quick question. Not sure if I'm thinking too far ahead, but it's for people with this Manchester flight. It's most likely that I think it's most likely that the 12th of Dhul-Hijjah will be on the Sunday, the 8th of June. So,
So
does that mean?
I'll stop you there. You don't need to worry about this, inshallah. Sheikh Abu Isa is going to be on that flight with you, very likely. And he'll be taking care of all your movements in those days. You will get to complete your Hajj. We won't know, and there's no point kind of trying to guess this before the dates are announced. And when they're announced, we will make the right arrangements for you guys, inshallah. Not to worry.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, Dilshad.
Assalamu alaikum. This is a question for Dr. Abid. The antibiotics which you suggested, they will interact with some of the other medication I'm taking. I've seen my GP, and that's what he said. Now I'm waiting for my rheumatologist to come back, but I'm not quite sure whether I will get any answer. Could I send you a private message so I could get some reply from you, or any suggestion or what to do if I need that?
That's fine. You can send me a message. I will be carrying some alternative medications anyway, but this is the medication is our preferred one purely because of the short course and one tablet once a day for 3 days. That's it. But if you have got anything else, just message me. I will sort it out.
Okay, that's great. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Muted Omar Qadri.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, assalamu alaikum everyone. Jazakallah khair for the informative session. I had a question regarding changing the gateways, right? If we were to able to do that with the airlines, what are some considerations we need to take in place, if we do that?
So in terms of changing your flights, it's very unlikely that you'll be able to do that with your existing ticket. Yeah, it's likely that you'll be buying new tickets if that's what you plan to do. If you do that, as soon as you do it, you need to let us know, please. Yeah, so that we can adjust our plans for you in terms of travel and in terms of your arrival and departure. Yeah, it's very unlikely that you'll be able to make any changes to the ticket that you purchased through Nusuk or Musafir, whichever one you're on. But if you do, then it's going to be something that you're going to buy off your own back. So you'll purchase that, you'll pay for that yourself. But what we need from you in that case is to know what your flight details are, your timings, your airlines, etc. So you can make sure there's somebody to kind of welcome you when you arrive into Medina, and to make sure that we know when you're leaving. You know, your travel in terms of arriving, or your flight travel, will make a big difference to your travel within the country as well. We try to group the people together in terms of the flight so that you're on one bus when you enter into Medina, and you'll stay on that same bus with the same number until you exit out of the country from Jeddah. So we need this information as soon as possible. The team now are working on these bus lists and these flight lists. So think about that now. If you want to do it or you want to discuss it, you're welcome to message, and we can kind of advise you on that as well. But it will be something that you'll be booking and arranging yourself. It's not something that we will be able to help you with, unfortunately.
I can confirm that all these seats which are booked with the airline through the packages are non-refundable, non-changeable. They cannot be changed. Gateway cannot be changed.
Okay. Because has something changed since last year? Because I know a lot of groups in the US, not via Hajj with AE, but other groups, they changed their flights last year. I don't know if it was group flights or the regular flights, but they booked them through Nusuk. So is something changed from last year that you're not allowed?
The last year's system was quite a bit different. That there wasn't a big distinction between, not distinction, but the bookings were all together. So whether you were booking your own flight or you were booking your own flight through Musafir or Nusuk, or you were booking the group flight, it was all done at the same time. Yeah, so that might be where you might be somewhat confused. But like I said, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to do it. Which group are you? You're US, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're booked on the US group flight, I presume.
Yes, flying on from JFK.
So like I said, it's very unlikely that it's going to be possible to change that. If we can do it, we can look into that for you. But as it stands, I think the chances are very low.
Okay, and who can I, like, just to run some thoughts through, who can I message?
You can message
me.
You can message the help, and I will kind of discuss that with you. And again, like I said, we will try as much as we can to help. But just to be realistic, that's where we stand right now.
Okay, thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Markable.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I'd like to say it's very nice to see all of your faces and to put a face to the name. MashaAllah, nice to meet all of you guys.
You should be in your class. You shouldn't be here.
Except I can't see one person, the frown that sunk 1,000 ships. So I hope you're smiling. Yes.
I'm smiling. I've got a drink, and I'm hoping to be off this call in the next few minutes and to enjoy some boxing tonight.
I have two quick questions. The first is from my mom. I believe Dr. Abed had said that we would be told what bus to go on, and there's a bus that will take us back from Muzdalifah to Mina. Is that correct? Or we have to walk back?
Yes. So this I can take this because so we have we'll have a group of people that have mobility issues, and they'll be grouped together, and they'll have a few of the team members with them. Normally, it's the group that I help with. So from Muzdalifah, let me touch on something that we've discussed and will help. What we always find is, no matter how much study we do, how much prep we do in terms of looking at the different stages of Hajj, we will get to a few days before Hajj, and there will be a lot of people that don't know what they're doing. Yeah, because the information can kind of get overwhelming and it can be difficult, or they just haven't paid attention. Whatever it is, it always happens, and you won't be alone. You'll be, most people that are doing Hajj don't have won't have that knowledge at that time, which is not good, but it's okay, and it's what happens. So what we will do is we will run through in simple details exactly where you're going to be going at what stage. Yeah, this we will do later on in the process, but one of these movements will be from Muzdalifah to either the Mina camp or to the Azizia Hotel, or to via these places to the Haram on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. Yeah, on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, these movements will happen. Those people that have mobility issues, most likely they will be advised to go from Muzdalifah back to the Mina camp. Traditionally, as a group ourselves, we've always said that we should walk this, because until the last couple of years, that bus that takes people was very, very unpredictable. Yeah, that you could be waiting from 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. out in the heat, 40, 50, 60, 50 plus degrees, and the bus would take hours to come. Yeah. However, in the last few years, that service has become a lot better. Yeah, that there's been options for buses. At the same time, even that mobility group, majority of them will walk back. It's about a 40-minute walk back to our Mina camp from there. Yeah? So if there's a wheelchair in use, we will use those wheelchairs. We will help to provide wheelchairs, and we will talk about this close to the time. But there will be the option to wait for the bus, or there will be the option to walk, and we will help with that as well. Your family members will be there to push. We will provide whatever kind of to that side of things as well. But it's not something to worry about. Yeah, the logistics and movements now, alhamdulillah, become a lot easier. Yeah, the majority of the time there are going to be options available that will cover everybody. Yeah.
Okay. That's sorry, Osman. You there?
Yes, she's still there.
Okay, sorry, that was just a question on my mom's behalf. She's been asking me that question, so I just wanted to ask on her behalf. No, my question is, and this is the final one, is I'm going to be getting another phone. I have a second phone that's completely clean, doesn't have any pictures or anything like that. So if I lose it, I really don't care about it. But the Telegram group, I won't be in it. Will you guys be able to relink me back into the Telegram group?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes, we'll be able to. So you can contact me, and we can help you through that process, inshallah. I don't know if we touched on it, maybe I missed it, but there's going to be some discussion on eSIMs. Yeah, on eSIMs. So whoever's planning to take an eSIM, don't take it yet. We're looking at options for that, and Sheikh will talk about that maybe next week. Yeah, so don't buy anything yet, but we will advise on that soon, inshallah. Okay.
Just on the mobility issue, I just wanted to re-emphasize throughout the Hajj, we will be assessing people as well, and we will be seeing which people can mobilize or which people need help and all that. Sometimes we tell people, look, you can do this, you can't do this, and people does not listen to us. They get in the excitement, they try to attempt those things, and they fail, and then it becomes too much of a problem. Last year we had one group, one family actually. We told them, no, you can't go on your own on Jamarat. They didn't listen. They walked behind us, and then they collapsed. Then she collapsed, and then she ended up in the hospital for 5 days. So you have to work with us on these things.
Specifically, some of the specifically for the ladies, I noticed, especially the pregnant ladies, I noticed a lot of them last year feeling really discouraged when they had to sit back and, for example, allow someone to do their stoning for them or something like that. So if any ladies out there are pregnant, or anybody, male or female, has mobility issues, it's good to be mentally prepared to know that there may be instances where you'll take a concession and have somebody perform an act of worship for you, and there's no shame in that. It's something that the Prophet ﷺ, allowed, and we have precedent for it in our religion. But I think a lot of people just struggle emotionally with that because they, have spent all these months preparing, and they have this image in their head of how their Hajj is going to go. And then when their body fails them, or when they when it's dangerous for them to try to do it themselves, and they're advised to sit back, they really struggle emotionally. So that's something to kind of be mentally prepared for, and don't let it affect you too much if that's something that happens to you.
Just one more thing I will add on. Into 2023, we had a group of 6 families. They were very young couples, and they wanted to do a walking Hajj. We discussed with them, we discouraged them, but they wanted to do walking Hajj, and they wanted to do with their wives. We allowed them, okay, that was their decision. Unfortunately, on the day of the Arafah, when we arrived to the Arafah at 11:30 or 12 o'clock, they were keep calling us. Usman, they were calling us. 2 of the ladies has collapsed before arriving to the Arafah, and they could not walk a single step. So send us a transport. Unfortunately, there is no transport. If you are on the walking path towards the Arafah from Mina, there is no transport available. So they arrive at Arafah after 2:30, and they were collapsed. Whole 12 of them, they could not walk for at least or stand up or make dua for nearly 2 hours. They were absolutely shattered. So sometimes it happens, the husband wanted to push the wife as well. No, we can do this and you can go. Look, you all are individuals in that regard, and you all know your abilities, what you can and what you can't do. Sometimes you have to be honest with yourself and restrict yourself for whatever you can do or you can't do. So please be careful on these kind of things. In excitement, once in a lifetime opportunity, yes, you want to do everything yourself, but at the same time, you have to know your abilities and you have to know yourself.
Just to touch on that, everybody knows their abilities, but once you get into 50 degrees plus of heat, maybe nobody knows what their capabilities are. Yeah. So if you approach us or we approach you, and we will do, certainly people that we think have medical or mobility issues, we will approach you and we'll discuss. We will go through options with you, and we will give you our opinion on what you should do. Yeah. Again, you're adults and you're free to make those choices, but we're not here to take anything away from anybody's experience, but we're here to share our experience and the reality of the situation on the ground. Yeah, that what you don't want to do is take steps that are going to be detrimental to your Hajj, to your family's Hajj, and then to the other people around you. Yeah, even for the team ourselves, we're here to help, but we'd also like to have some experience of Hajj without mega stress. So we ask that you take our opinions and our advice on board. It's coming from the right places. And again, like I said, we can never restrict. If somebody says, no, I'm going to do this, you won't find us saying, no, you can't do it. But we will give you the best advice, inshallah, and we hope and somewhat expect that you'll follow it. But do come and have discussion. If you've got any questions to that regard, there'll be lots of time on the ground there that we'll have specific sessions for this to discuss your needs and your difficulties and situations. So come and discuss these things, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Bro, Tanmir, you said you're not going to break Telegram, bro. He's gone.
He's gone. I can't see any hands. That's the problem.
Anybody who has got a question, please unmute yourself.
Nadeem?
Ahmed Nadeem.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, bro.
Sorry, Assalamualaikum. Just a question for Dr. Abid. I haven't actually put a request in for antibiotics. I didn't think I'd need them, but just, do you think I should put a form in to send to you to, do you think I should put that request in to you?
No, just fill the form. Tomorrow will be the last day of taking all the requests.
Okay, as in, do you advise that we do request antibiotics?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Anybody else has any questions, please raise your hand, because I don't see any names at the moment. I think we're done. I think a lot of people sometimes feel shy to ask their doctors, but it's worth a try. There's no shyness in the religion. is something that we're all aware of, and this isn't really a religious issue, but it's something that you shouldn't be shy about. Try. The worst that can happen is they say no and they give you a weird look. It happened with myself. I had to ask the doctor for antibiotics. He was kind of confused why I was asking for it. I just explained, and he kind of reluctantly gave me the prescription. So you can expect resistance. We've mentioned that before to everybody. You can expect that they might be confused and they might be wondering why you're asking for certain things. But if you just explain to them, sometimes they're willing to give it to you, inshallah. Otherwise, we have these forums in place for people who can't get it. Question from Kay, who I believe your name is Khurram, if I'm not mistaken. Kay? No? Yeah, Khurram Durrani. Please unmute yourself. There should be a button that you can click to unmute yourself and ask your question. Otherwise, I think we're done. I don't see anybody else with their hands raised.
Just to touch on that, it's one of the rules that we've, Sheikh said that we want to have our full names on the Telegram.
Yeah.
So please kind of adjust that and look at the rules that have been set. They've been set for a reason. So please have your picture showing and have your full name. Otherwise, there's a risk of being ejected. We don't want
We
that
had
for
a
you.
lot of people who tried to sneak into the group. A lot of people accessing the bot, trying to get in. If you all remember, our previous Telegram group had was it 2,000 people or something like that? And they found our information very helpful, and they're still trying to get access to it. We do have to limit it with good reason. But that's why we ask everybody to have pictures and names and everything. It makes the team's job a lot easier. I actually see a lot of people who still don't have display pictures, actually, where people are doing pretty well with their names. But we do ask that you add a display picture, and it might be that you have one, but we can't see it because of your privacy settings. So it might be worth going into your Telegram settings to check that your display picture is visible to your group chats, inshallah. Any other questions?
As much as we hate DMs throughout the group, because every team member is very, very busy on doing a lot of things, but I have offered people to DM me if there's a specific medical concern, and I have been replying most of the people who has approached me. So please, if you have got any medical concern or you need any guidance on specific issues, you can send message. I will come back to you. But rest of the team, we always discourage and all that. But I have offered personally myself, for any medical concern, please approach me either through a DM or when you are coming to this on the seminar on 4th. The message for the USA and Canada people, please, if you need medications and I can't get you before the Hajj, but fill the form and I will get medication for you. Although I will have got enough, but if you need anything specific or any special guidance you need, fill the form and I will sort it out for you. Okay.
Just before I forget, so the sister that I mentioned, the privacy settings, please have a look at them. Yeah, that try to allow, there's an option to allow people to call you, and there'll be need for this closer to departure times. So I'd recommend that everybody looks at that and allows that, or opens that option to allow people that are not in your contact list to call you. It will be helpful to us. There's a question there. Can you tell us what we covered on the 4th of May? If we started to go through that now, we'd be here for another 2 hours. Just to know that it will be very important, but it will be such a good day. Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it, but we have people traveling 5, 6, 7 hours by flight to get to this seminar. Yeah, so that if you're in the UK, it's not about not having an excuse. You'll make an excuse. Yeah, fine, but you'll be the one that's missing out. Yeah, so everybody, certainly in the UK, should be there basically, unless it's something kind of absolutely drastic that's stopping you. You should be there. You'll enjoy. You'll certainly benefit. You'll get to meet the team in person. You'll get to meet your fellow Hajj. For me personally, this is the actual physical start of the Hajj. Yeah, that you will start to make those the friends and the acquaintances, and you'll get to know what the situation is. So anybody in the UK, and like I said, it's not about having an excuse or otherwise. It's for yourself, your own benefit, for your own enjoyment. Please get there. It'll be a fantastic day, inshallah. I think we'll close it there, inshallah, guys.
can we take one more question?
Yeah, sure.
I unmuted Brother Ahmed. If you can unmute yourself, please, to ask your question, if you had a question. Ahmed Amishtak? No? Okay, we tried. Brother Khurram and Brother Ahmed, if you still have questions, you can post them in the chat, inshallah.
Jazakallah, guys. It's been nice to speak to you. Nice to see the team together, and we will see each other. Those of us there next week, and if not, then there's not long to go for Hajj, and the time will fly by. So Jazakallah, we'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.